Welcome to Bassmaster Radio, presented by Phoenix Boats, the show for fishermen by fishermen. Today's show is brought to you by Enigma Fishing. Cast, catch, repeat. Visit Anderson, South Carolina, home of beautiful Lake Hartwell. Phoenix Boats, experience the difference. And by the Bass Anglers Sportsman Society. Now, here's lifetime BASS member, Thom Abraham.
And welcome back, Phoenix Boats Bassmaster Radio. And how about getting things started with a guy? I mean, this guy is a real up-and-comer. I mean, he's been around for a minute, but he is really doing a great job. 12th right now in the standings. He is. I think that this guy is going to get a blue trophy here pretty soon. He also runs a Phoenix, runs a PHX 21, and does a great job with that as well. He has run it for a number of years now. He is Hunter Shryock. Hunter, welcome to the show. How are you, man?
Good, man. Thanks for having me on. It's always great to be on here. I think the last time we talked, I was fishing in New York a couple of years ago. So It's been a minute, but I'm glad to be back.
It is good. It is good to have you back, and you're kind of like a neighbor now. We're based out of Winchester, Tennessee, and you have made the move to the Dirty South. Come out of Ohio. I know your brother Fletch is down at Guntersville, and now you're at Chick. So between the two of you, I don't know how you decide which lake you want to go to, Guntersville or Chick. They're both great lakes, but it's pretty cool to have you down here, kind of in the middle, the epicenter, if you will, of the pro fishing world.
Well, I think, you hit it on the head there, being in the middle of basically the mecca of fishing, and that's the Tennessee River, and super ecstatic to be able to have the opportunity to move down here, obviously chasing the dream of getting the blue trophy, and that's the incentive for us moving down here. But, it's such a great, chain of lakes all around us within an hour and a half. And it's all just to hone my skills, try to get better, and ultimately learn and become a better angler. That's what it's all about.
Do you find fishing the Tennessee River lakes and system can help you at other reservoirs like in Texas? You guys are going to Texas. Obviously, it's not like the Sabine River. That's a whole nother animal. But do you find that it can help you at other fisheries around the region, around the country?
Absolutely. And obviously the Tennessee River has its own niches and stuff that the fish like to do, current stuff like that. But for me personally, living in Ohio, we wasn't in a great location to just go catch fish and catching fish. And granted, we're going to the Sabine River next week. It's a tough fishery. We're going to catch fish, but you have to put yourself in a place that you're able to practice, kind of like throwing a football or shooting a basketball.
Right.
You need to practice from setting the hook, landing the fish. All of that makes a huge deal, and actually having a place that the fish start to bite. Where I lived at in Ohio, I had to go 2 hours to Lake Erie just to get a place that had a large population of bass that day in and day out you could get to bite. And, same thing with around here, large populations of fish, they're always biting somewhere. So if you don't catch them, that's on you. And that's basically everywhere we fish in the country has a large population of bass that, our guys, the elite anglers, are always going to find them. They're always going to catch them. So basically having that target practice, having that being able to hone in all your setups, my Abu Garcia rods and reels, my line, my bait, makes a big difference. And I've already seen it in the 4 months that we've been here. Just being able to put that to good use has already made a difference in the tournaments that I've fished this year.
Yeah, and let's be honest, and I'm not cutting on Ohio because half of my family is from Lakeland, Ohio, right outside of Cleveland. The other half of my family is from Pittsburgh, right. Believe it or not, but we're all Browns fans. You know what I mean? It's like my dad's side was from Pittsburgh, and half of his family is from Cleveland, and half is from Pittsburgh. I don't know how that worked out, but in any event, I'm not cutting on him, Ohio, when I say this, but I got news for you. Down here, you're not winning any tournaments with 9 pounds. Like you do some of them, in Ohio. Hey, we got 11 pounds. We just set a new record. No, that ain't happening down here, man.
and you're absolutely right. And it's like I'm not trying to cut on Ohio by no means, because it's really honed me to be the angler that I am today. Just like you said, 9 pounds. To me, when you catch 9, 10, 11 pounds, you're grinding it out, and you have a good tournament in Ohio. And I'll take for granted we fished the Tennessee River, which, based on the conditions out of Knoxville, it became a really tough event, and I got a top 10 out of that. but having that mindset that you're only going to get a couple bites a day. That's, Ohio helped me do that. But also at a standpoint, you have to be able to have a place that you can go catch fish at too. So it's a give and take, but ultimately, I felt like this is where we need to be at for fishing for sure. And not only that, but travel. We're not traveling near as far for events now. So that makes saving time and being able to utilize that for other things makes it a big opportunity for us as well.
Bill Lowen was on last week off of his win at Pickwick. He said the same thing. I mean, growing up fishing the Ohio River, that grind helped him. Of course, it helped him into river fishing that they had at Pickwick. Of course, you guys saw a Pickwick that is unlike anything current-wise that you normally see. I mean, that was just bizarro world. I mean, it was crazy what was going on there.
It was, and we all knew that it was going to be, throw everything out the window. And you're going out with a clean slate, and the lake was totally different. The river, I mean, whatever you want to call it, it was a raging river when we were there.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. And Bill, he cracked the code, and it's funny because I started on the same stretch on Cougar Island behind Bill Lowen, and I went down for about 15 minutes, and I said, well, I got probably one of the best shallow water anglers in the country, in the world, in front of me. I'm probably going to give this about 20 minutes and leave. And I did. And Bill went on to show why he's probably the best shallow water anglers ever. He put on a dominant performance. Super, super happy to see him do that too.
See, I was thinking that you would go up by the dam, Hunter Shryock, with us because, those guys were bouncing around, and I'm thinking, well, this dude was a motocross guy. You know what I mean? He ran motocross, so it would be like standing on the front deck of that boat would be like doing motocross in the whoop-de-doos. You know what I mean? It was just those guys were bouncing up and down. Chris Zaldane, he was bouncing up and down, and you had to have that balance and everything else, but you don't break any bones. I did motocross when I was young. I gave it up at 19. I jumped out even earlier than you, but broke my collarbone, and I said, I'm done with this. I'm going fishing.
It was I don't miss that part. That's for sure. I get a lot of questions on whether I miss racing or not. I guess to be honest with you, I do miss riding, but I feel like the competition side I was fulfilled from fishing.
Yeah.
So to that point, I don't miss being hurt, and I still get to be competitive. So it's a win-win and a great transition sport. And I see more and more riders and other athletes that are coming off, people like Brian Robinson and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Defensive end for the Minnesota Vikings. He's in the fit. Like so many people are transitioning. So cool to see. But it's funny you say that about the dam though, because that stuff freaks me out. Yeah, I'll go ramp a 30 or a 75-foot triple on a supercross track, but to go up there and look at a dam with I don't know, it was wide open, pumping 200 cubic feet per second. That's a lot of water coming through there.
Yeah.
So it was pretty freaky. And I actually fished up there on day 2 because I had an early flight. And so I went up there and spent 8 hours and cast at 2 bushes and caught, I think, 19 pounds. So
wow.
It was a little intimidating, but I got through it.
Well, I'll be fishing the Central Open there in a few weeks, and but we're going out of the other end. We're going out of Counts over up in Tennessee, so it'll be up at the Pickwick Dam. So it's going to be interesting to see, how it is. But no, I'm with you, man. Motocross, running across the lake at 70, no problem. But man, you get up by a dam, it freaks me out. It's just weird. I just don't want to do that.
A lot of water and current doesn't mess around, so you could get in trouble in a hurry. But always leave your life jacket on, stuff like that. You should be all right. Make sure your boat's all powered up, and you'll be good to go. But that Pickwick, it is a phenomenal lake. And the amount of fish that are in there blows me away. I mean, we kind of showcased it on a whim 2 weeks ago. I'm kind of scared to see what it would have been like if we wouldn't have had the high water. It probably would have took close to 100 pounds to win.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. Hunter Shryock has been our guest here in the opening segment. 12th in the AOY standings, 13th. He finished 13th last year. Extremely consistent. Has a top 10 finish already in the first 3 tournaments. This year has been cashing checks. Next up, Blue Trophy, Hunter. I'm telling you, it's coming. I'm feeling it for you. I know it's going to happen.
I'm ready for it. That's what we're pushing towards. And it's funny because every year it's like, you become more accustomed. Like, okay, checks are good. You gotta be consistent. You gotta get to the Classic, but the drive to get a win, I feel like this year is so much stronger than what it has been in the past. And that's with any competitive sport. You continue to drive for more and more. So hopefully we get there, and we're not out of angler of the year either.
No.
We need to get about 3 top 10s, 3 or 4 more top 10s. But we got a long season, a lot of fishing to do. So we're gonna keep chasing after it and see what happens.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, Thom.
That's Hunter Shryock. All right, coming up next, Neil Paul will join us. Big news this week that the Classic is going back to Hartwell. Talk to Neil Paul from Visit Anderson next, right here on Phoenix Boats Bassmaster Radio on the Bassmaster Radio Network.